Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a magic ring and some other crochet basics. So to start off with, you just need a ball of yarn and a crochet hook. I recommend getting a lighter weight yarn like this, so something that says about a 4mm crochet hook should be good. And you don't have to spend a lot of money, just any inexpensive ball of yarn should do. I will say, one thing that you want to check for is that it doesn't split too easily. So if you just, you know, you can just gently take a piece, and if you just roll it a little bit, you kind of get an idea if it will split easily or not. This one's not too bad. So that's just something to look out for. To start off with, you're going to need to learn how to hold your yarn. So I'm going to show you how to do this right-handed. I actually am left-handed, but I don't know how to crochet left-handed. It's something maybe I want to teach myself in the future, but for now, I'll show you the right-handed way. So with your left hand palm up, you're going to take the tail of the yarn in your right hand, and you're going to wrap it around, so put it through your ring finger and pinky, and then bring it up around, back through your ring finger and pinky, and then up over your pointer finger, resting on the middle finger. And then you can just gently hold it. So this is what it is looking like. So the thing is, so your tension will be important, and this will take a little bit of time to get used to it and to figure out how much tension you need. Like, you don't want to be holding it super tight like this, so it's too tense, and you'll also make your hand more tired. So you want it to be a little bit looser. It's hard to see on camera, but you can see here that it's almost a little bit bouncy. And then you don't want it to be too loose because that's going to be difficult. So this is just something you'll pick up as you go, but just keep in mind to a little bit bouncy, not too loose, not too tight. All right, so now that you know how to hold the yarn, you need to know how to make a slip knot. So what you're going to do is take this tail end, pull it out just a little bit longer, and you're going to fold it over top of the yarn, of this side of the yarn. So the tail end will be on the top, and you're just going to make an X on your middle finger, and then you can gently hold it down with your thumb. So for now, I'm going to refer to this side as the top and this side as the bottom. I probably won't mention that, but so this is the top side. The side that your thumb is on is the top. And then I'm going to refer to this as the, so this is the hook facing upwards, and this is the hook facing downwards. So those are they're not really official terms, but that's what I'm going to be using. So put your hook through the top of this loop facing upwards, and then you're going to face it downwards. You're going to grab onto this yarn here, and you're going to pull it through the loop. Now, the main important thing to do while you're pulling it through is twisting the yarn. So you want to twist it up like that. And then from there, you can yarn over and pull through. So you'll know if you did it correctly because this will hold its shape. So you don't need to hold this part anymore. It should hold its shape like this. I'll show you again. So the hook face up through the top of this loop, and then face the hook down. Then you're going to hook onto the yarn that you're holding here. And as you're pulling it through this loop, you want to twist it upward so that your hook is facing up. So you're getting something like this. And then you can yarn over and pull through. And that is your slip knot. And you'll need to know this even if you're making chains. This will be pretty much the start of all of your crochet projects. So I'll show you again one more time. So this time I'm not going to pull it through the loop. I'm just going to show you how to grab the yarn. So, when it's through here, let's just pretend I have it through the loop. So with your hook facing down and you're pulling the yarn through the loop, as you're pulling through, you're twisting the hook upwards. So you get this sort of X shape. And then that's when you yarn over and pull through. So hooking onto the yarn and twisting upwards. So you want it to have this X. So one last time, through the top of the loop, face your hook down, grab onto the yarn, and as you pull it through this loop, twist it up. And then you can yarn over and pull it through. And that is your slip knot. So usually what I'd recommend once you've gone to this point is to practice making chains. So what you can do then is just pull this out a little bit. So you should also be able to pull I think they call it a working loop. You can pull it in and out to make it different sizes. So whenever you're working on something and you want to put it down, just pull this out. That way it won't unravel as easily. So now that you're here, if you, to make a chain, and I recommend this because it just gives you practice with the motion of crocheting. So you can just pull this tail now all the way, and that is the beginning of your chain, and you do not count this slip knot as a stitch. So to make your chain, hold your yarn in the same way and then yarn over, pull it through this loop. And it's the same, yarn over, pull it through the loop, and then you can just keep going. This should just give you a feel for doing single crochets. So the more you practice, the more consistent your stitches will be. But that's something you'll learn as you go along. So now to actually make a magic ring. So you can frog this, which just means undoing it. So I'm just gonna make a slip knot again quickly, and then we will make the magic ring. All right, so once we're back at our slip knots, we are going to make a 6-stitch magic ring. That is probably the most common one you'll encounter. The main difference is just you'll start off with a different amount of stitches. So we're going to do 6 for this one. So with your loop here, and this tail should be on the left side, and we will be crocheting around that loop as well. So when you go through here, make sure you're also going underneath this tail. Put your yarn through, so again, this will be the top. Put your hook through the loop and make sure it's under this tail. And then you're going to do the same thing, yarn over, pull it through this loop. So now you have 2 loops on your hook, and you yarn over again and pull through both of them, and that is your first stitch. And so we're basically just doing that 6 times all the way around, and just remember the slip knot does not count as a stitch. So hook through. You can pull this a little bit if it's too large. So put your hook through the top of the loop, make sure it's under this tail. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through. You have 2 loops here. Yarn over and pull through both of them, and that is your second stitch. That's number 3. I'll do the 4th one slow. So you're going to do hook through this loop and under this tail, yarn over, pulling through the loop, yarning over again, and pulling through both of them. So I'll do the last 2. So that is your 6 stitches. You can see here the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each stitch should look like a little V shape. So you can see each one, and you can see a bit of the slip knot here. So that is 6. Now what you can do is take this tail, and we're going to pull it tight. So to keep this flatter, so if I just pull this, sometimes it starts to get a bit, in this case it's not doing it, but sometimes it will, bend a little bit as you're pulling. So what I suggest is just gently hold it with your fingers. Actually, like this way, easiest I find. And then just gently pull the tail tight, and that is your magic ring. But don't worry if it is looking a bit like a semicircle. Once we start round 2, it will be a complete circle. So this is your first round. So now if we were doing round 2, we are going into this stitch right here. Sometimes the first stitch is a little bit more difficult to get into. Then yarn over. Same thing we've been doing, yarn over, pull it through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, pull through, and that is the beginning of round 2. So you'll want to take a stitch marker and mark that. That way you'll know where you start off. So typically in round 2, we're just doing increases, which means you're just doing 2 single crochets into each stitch from the last round. So in this case, we're going to go back into the same stitch. You can still see a little bit of it here. Go back through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through again. So that's our first 2 stitches into just this one stitch. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I do want to make a extended video. I'm just waiting for a new tripod to hold my camera, because this one is just, it's very shaky, and I find like the focus changes too much with this just because it shakes so much. So that will be out later. I just wanted to get at least the magic ring bit out, just because lots of people have been asking for it, and you really can't start unless you have made the magic ring. So yeah, Um, Let me know if there's anything else you want me to make a tutorial for, and thank you for watching. Bye!